And welcome back to Kings of Influence. I am one half of your hosting team, Ray William Johnson.
Over here, 180 degrees on the other side of the table is me, Epic Lloyd, and we're here every Wednesday at noon from the back office. We call it Shea Kings, maybe? That's a good name for it. We're here every Wednesday at noon Pacific time, and we're happy you're here with us. If you'd like to get a text from us letting you know when we're about to go live, go ahead and text the word Kings to the number 43506, and Ray will Twitter fingers his message to you, letting you know when we're about to go live. We'll just send you one so you can stay in touch.
I will Twitter finger the hell out of you.
Yeah.
What? No. I'll Twitter finger you a message is what I meant. Never mind.
Yeah.
Anyway, every week we do a couple of news stories, a couple of calls. If you guys want to call in and ask us for advice, leave us a message. Call it 321-222-3179. That's 321-222-3179. Leave us your first name, your age, and a short little message just explaining what you'd like advice about. Anyway, how are you guys today?
Yeah, what's going on? It's a new week. It's been a week. So good. Ray, you quit meditating?
No, I meditated this week.
You went back to it.
Yeah, I meditated once. I'm trying to get back into it.
Okay.
I'm trying to make it work.
Right on.
It's, well, it'll happen.
For those of you
little by little.
For those of you who didn't hear last week, Ray was going to do Meditation May. And now I'm just bringing up his failures because
go ahead.
There's not a lot of failures when it comes to Ray.
There you go ahead.
But he quickly abandoned it, which I thought was pretty funny.
It's hard. Meditating is hard.
Well, 20 minutes is too much, man.
Yeah, I had when I say I did it this week, I meant I did 10 minutes.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm like, okay, I'll do 10 minutes. Maybe 20. It's too hard to start out 20. I'll do 10. And man, it is excruciating.
Yeah,
there's nothing fun about that at all.
That would be Meditation May would have turned into Nap May very quickly for me. So.
I mean, people swear by like, oh, meditation helps me so much. Like, there must be nothing going on in your brain.
Yeah. You must be, well, I think, we talked about this already, but that's kind of the idea is to like make it stop, make the brain stop, but it's never going to stop.
No, my brain, a freight train. I got a freight train brain.
Freight train brain.
Woo! All right. Did you hear, first of all, let's talk about, I don't want to talk about the ending to Game of Thrones because we're not like a review podcast or anything, but I want to talk about the fan petition that was going around that wanted HBO to reshoot the final season of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And this fan petition got 600, last I checked, it got 600,000 signatures.
I heard it was up to 1 million at one point.
It may have been.
But maybe that's just a rumor.
How entitled do you feel? How entitled are you that you want HBO to spend what I would estimate at $150 million?
Sure.
To get everyone back on board and reshoot another season.
I mean, I feel like it's just like fans are just pissed because it's like when you get pissed when your grandpa dies. Like you get mad at him. It's like they're saying goodbye to something and they're pissed about it, but they're just lashing out.
You're just saying fans don't have the emotional intelligence to control their anger?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there are people who have a closer relationship with that TV show than they do with like their siblings and brothers and shit. Like, how many people know the names of all their nieces and nephews and their birth dates and shit? Like, versus the people probably like memorized all the storylines and all the little, regions and the name of a boat and all that stuff. Those people are so into it. And for that to just go away, that must be really hard.
I'm guilty of that.
Yeah. You know everything?
I don't know everything, but it's like I have a nephew and I'm like, I don't know when his birthday is.
Damn.
I know.
I don't think I know.
I'm really bad at that. And I probably won't until he gets a Facebook and Facebook tells me.
That's what Facebook's the best girlfriend ever. It just tells you all the
Yeah.
birthdays.
Oh yeah, you should send a gift, send a text to this person. Okay, yeah, sure. That's a good thank you, Facebook. That's very good.
Thanks, Facebook. But yeah, I mean, the petition is like HBO had to know something was coming. I liked the show. I thought the ending was fine.
Yeah.
I was a little underwhelming, but I thought it was like, how do you end something like that? It's not like people also hated the ending of Sopranos. They hated it. And now since then it's gone down to be one of the most epic endings of a series of all time. Like, what a great ending. Just leave you hanging like that. That's dope.
I read the same thing about the ending to Seinfeld. Which people say aged really well, and I haven't gone back and watched the ending since then.
Yeah.
But it was essentially a clip show, but people are into it now.
I never saw the ending. they basically just did it like a memories, like remember this, remember that.
They went to court over some Good Samaritan law, and in court, they're all testifying, and in testifying, it's like flashing back to all the bad things they did through the years,
Huh?
and at the end of it, they sent them to jail.
All of them go to
Yeah,
jail.
yeah. I
That's
know.
pretty funny.
It's kind of crazy.
That would be
Actually.
funny to do like a reboot of them in jail, and the whole show is just Seinfeld from in jail.
Seinfeld in prison?
Yeah.
Wow. Seinfeld Island?
Yeah. Seinfeld up. Signed. Yeah, pretty good.
You got what? You got something, Katie?
Well, the change.org petition is now at 1.3 million signatures.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
And Sophie Turner came out and she said that she thinks it's very disrespectful of the fans because they spent 11 months shooting this final season.
Which
Yeah.
one? Sophie Turner? She Danny?
Sansa.
Sansa, the redhead.
Sansa. Oh. They should just teach the cast, just don't say anything. Don't remark, don't say anything. Because there's nothing she could say. Like, that makes her sound so, like, bitchy. Like, very disrespectful. Like, ugh. Like, yes, of course it's disrespectful. We know this. You don't need to say that. Just don't say anything. Sometimes you just can't help it, I guess.
Obviously I agree with her, so I don't want to pick on her, because I'm totally like, yeah, these people put a year of their lives in, and you're just being like, no, it's not good enough. I want you to put in another year and another 150 million.
Yeah, but all you have to do is turn it around and be like, the only reason they're saying this is because they love us so much.
Sure.
And then it just makes it so much easier to swallow.
But it's as if like Sophie Turner and some of these other like as if Sophie Turner isn't like, no, I have a choice here, and I'm going to go on and do X-Men. I don't want to go back and do another season of Game of Thrones.
I
just
really wish she wouldn't do X-Men.
Why?
That movie looks awful.
Oh, come on.
Awful.
I like the new X-Men.
Oh, the last X-Men was the worst. That whole thing was just a nightmare.
With the Apocalypse?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was bad. I like the other two, though.
Ugh.
Anyway.
But I did think that the ending was underwhelming. I thought it was underwhelming. I thought they could have done some things a lot better, to be honest. I know we're not supposed to talk too much about it.
I didn't mind.
But I wasn't impressed. I don't say that about the whole season, because a lot of the season was really good.
Yeah.
But the last, I want to say, I guess just the last episode, even the second to last episode was like hard to watch, but I enjoyed that. But the last episode, you're like, really? Like, so many things, there were so many moments like that for me. Like, really?
Well, I'm impressed that we got like a 10-year fantasy epic, and the story and the acting and the writing were all like of a premium quality. As a kid, I never would have guessed that we would get something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I went and saw John Wick last night, and I was like, yeah, it's basically one episode of Game of Thrones.
In what? Oh, what? Just with all the deaths and everything?
Just like they're making movies now that are like serialized, like television.
Oh, yeah.
So, but it started in the middle of something that had already happened in a previous movie, and it ended like basically like a to be continued kind of a thing. Like, they're making movies like it could have just been a television show. There was no reason for that to be a movie. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how Game of Thrones influenced everything. So
Don't give them any ideas. There'll be
oh, I know.
a John. But and I think they greenlit John Wick 4. I read already.
It was fine.
Wow.
It was a fun movie. But it was definitely like by the end of it, you're like, okay.
Does anybody die in those movies? Because I don't want to.
So
I don't want to see any violence.
So violent. I was thinking last night about, and not to get too political, but like there are so many people who are up in arms, no pun intended, about gun violence, right? Like
I get the pun.
Yeah.
I get it.
The entirety of Hollywood is like ban on guns, ban guns, and then they'll put out a movie like John Wick, and that's so hypocritical to like stand there and say you should have all these firearm laws and all these things, and then to make a movie that just cashes in on shooting people in the freaking face over and over again. How do you square that away? I don't understand.
I don't know. I mean, I guess what they would say is one is a fantasy and the other one is a shooting at a high school.
Yeah, but where do you think these kids get the idea?
You think they watch John Wick and then go?
I think that
I
get
don't know.
That glorified, that idea of like glory and like bloodlust. It comes from video games and movies. That's where it comes from.
Yeah, it's a gun culture sort of celebrated. Yeah, that's true.
And the movie is celebrating gun culture too. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, it just focuses on these guns. They talk about the names of the guns. They talk about the bullets. They talk about rearranging them and putting them back together again, and they show them off in different ways. It's like for then to Hollywood to be like, yeah, man, there really should be a gun laws. You're like, that just flushes their whole credibility down the toilet for me. And I believe in gun laws and stuff, and it's just the hypocrisy kills me.
There should be gun laws. I mean, unless I'm getting a fat paycheck off of it, and then
Exactly.
That's not a bad point.
No.
Have you seen this this PBS cartoon? It's been on for years, and they used to have books and stuff. Arthur, the Aardvark.
I recognize the cartoon. I've never seen an episode.
Okay, I haven't seen an episode either. Although I do remember reading the like school books when I was a kid, because I remember the character. But apparently, a teacher on that cartoon came out as gay.
Okay.
And they had a whole episode, like a season finale, because I guess Arthur's trying to be Game of Thrones now or something, where they had a wedding, and it was a gay wedding. Ended up being a gay wedding. And I didn't watch the episode. I don't know how in depth they get into it. I think it's just a wedding and it's two dudes. I don't think they're like giving each other handies and shit like that.
Are they animals?
Yeah, they're all animals.
Are they aardvarks?
I think that I don't know what the teacher is, but I think he's a rat maybe. I don't know, but I think his partner's an aardvark. But like one of the kids is a rabbit. They're all animals.
They're all animals.
Yeah.
I was just wondering which animal they chose to make the gay one.
Well, they're both gay. It's a relationship. That's how that works.
Oh yeah, but I didn't know if they were the same species.
It's not prison.
So it's an interspecies marriage as well.
Well, yeah, but see that doesn't upset people. It's the gay thing.
It's that they're gay.
Yeah.
Oh, so people are upset. That's the story.
So the story is, so it's on PBS, right? Public access, and Alabama public television refused to air that episode. They aired a rerun instead. Like the entire state of Alabama didn't get to see that episode.
Of course.
I know. Of all
course
states,
it's all of Alabama, the state with the lowest education rating out of all of the states in the country.
It's yeah, I looked into that. Yes, depending on how you define it, there's different lists.
Right.
Education is so
But
broad.
they're not
Like,
smart
are you
enough to-
defining high school? Who gets a high school diploma? Are you defining how well they test? All this stuff. But on every single one, they fall very low. Some of them they fall at the bottom. But anyway, yeah, Alabama's not in good shape in terms of education overall.
Yeah.
Neither is California, by the way. But the point is, we aren't banning public cartoon episodes because of a gay wedding.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
I mean, Christ. They and who's in charge? It's just like the abortion laws over there. Like there's like 20 old grumpy white dudes who are in the position to push these buttons and speak for the population, and the rest of the population doesn't necessarily agree with it, but aren't really necessarily that actively opposing it. You know, probably because they got other things to do, like fucking try to figure out how to get out of the poverty that they're in. Because that state is in trouble.
Yeah, is it?
I don't think that Alabama's doing well right now.
I played Alabama, did a couple of shows in Birmingham, and I can't remember the other city I was in. Sorry, Alabama, and they were great.
Yeah,
and they didn't seem like hee-haw rednecks or anything like that. I don't know if I expected that, but everyone was fine and fantastic, and they laughed at my jokes, even the ones that were partially left. And
yeah,
I made some jokes about my gay brother, and everyone thought it was great. No one was like, "Wait a minute, let me take my kids out."
Well, that's what I'm saying. I feel like it's not the people there; it's the guys who are in charge. It's just like the somehow all these dudes who have been, and I don't know how the politics works over there, but like they feel like they've been there forever.
Yeah.
And it's like 20 white dudes. Literally, it was like 20 or 25 old white dudes who passed the abortion law just last week or whatever. Like, that's craziness. And it's these same guys that are blocking gay aardvarks.
They're in a room like, okay, the motion on the floor is to remove the episode of the Gay Bunny.
Aye.
Okay, do we have any? Nope, the ayes have it.
I agree. Governor, now if you
they don't even
mind,
let the nays get in.
I
No,
know.
the ayes have it.
I know.
Yeah, there it is.
And they're all secretly like dating dudes on the side.
Motion adjourned. Yeah.
Yeah. that's the other part about it is like those are the only guys that it gets like discovered all of a sudden they're like closeted homosexuals and there's all that shame around it and that's why they're like bashing things. The one kid I knew in college who I got into the biggest heated argument about homosexuality, and I was actually proud of myself because I think maybe I was ahead of curve back then. Like I got into it with this kid about being gay. And he was like, no, it's bad. It's wrong. It's this, it's that, it's the other thing. 5 years later, he's gay.
Of course he is.
He was totally gay the whole time.
Of course he is.
But that was like the in-life living color example of just trying to crush what you fear is inside you. And maybe that's what's going on.
Well, I always feel like, so in all of this, if you're gay, you want to control that narrative, right? Because it's never a good thing if people suddenly discover that you're gay. Right? You want to be the one to tell everyone, "Hey, I'm gay," because then everyone will go, "Oh yeah, great. It's 2019, great, good. I'm glad you come to terms with it. Cool, everything's fine." But if people discover you're gay by accident, you're in a bad position.
Yeah,
'cause that means they like caught you doing something, and you've been holding it a secret.
Yeah, and it goes against like other arguments that you've been making
potentially.
About the topic
potentially. Or you're married or something. Like, okay, if you're like 14 or 15, fine. People might catch you in the act. But if you're an adult and people catch you in the act and like, whoa, you're gay, that's a bad sign.
Yeah.
That's a really bad sign. That means you've been putting out vibes that you're either not or that you're against it.
Or that you hate those people.
Right.
Or that they shouldn't be allowed to do this, that, the other thing.
Yeah, you got to be the one to come forward. If you're listening out there, if you're gay, we want to know.
Yeah. Let people know. Be proud, loud and proud. I imagine saying that and being that in Alabama are two completely different things.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, what if they're in a small town and they're worried about getting beat up and that's why they're in the closet still?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like I said, bad. If you're going to discover it, it's bad. My brother is gay in Oklahoma and he said it's fine.
Yeah. How's it being gay in Oklahoma?
I have asked him that question. It's a fair question to ask.
How's the gay there?
Because I remember, I've told you this before, when I was in high school, people weren't out like they are now.
Yeah.
And there was like one, my graduating class, I don't know, a couple hundred, maybe more, maybe 300-400. But there was like one kid who we thought maybe was gay. There was no one was out or anything like that. And that kid was in the closet and that kid was tortured.
Yeah.
Like people beat him up all the time. Not me, but like I witnessed it. And it was really sad. But my point is, so when my brother came out to me, a couple of years, maybe a year went by, and I assumed he had come out to everyone at that point. And I said, all right, you're out now. So what is it like being at high school? What's it like being in high school as an openly gay guy? Because I remember that kid from my high school getting beat up. And my brother was like, it's fine.
How many years apart?
Oh, he's like 13 years younger than me.
Oh, wow.
He's a lot.
Difference.
Yeah, he's a lot. So it's different now.
It's a decade.
And I said, so no one like fucks with you? And he's like, no one messes with me or the other gay kids. I said, do you hang out with all the other gay kids? He's like, some of them. And then I have like a lot of straight friends too. And everyone just kind of hangs out. And I was like, wow, stuff is different.
Yeah. I mean, it's really nice to think about things like that because in the moment, it's hard to appreciate that. But if you look at things in a larger time, like that's a major change.
Huge.
In a good way. They say like,
and we went to the same high school.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
You know?
Yeah.
It's nice to think things that way. The gloom and doom of like, oh my God, this is the worst. Everything is awful. It's not. Actually, there's that study going around like people are happier now. There's less famine globally. Things have never been as good as they are right now.
I like to believe that.
Yeah.
Although there is room for improvement for a lot of stuff.
Of course.
Well, if you look at like there's an openly gay candidate running for president and he's polling pretty well.
Yeah, for sure. And the first African American gay woman, I think, is not the first one, but like she's the mayor of Chicago or something crazy like that. Yeah, that whole thing is going, I think, away fast. So Alabama better get on board with it because how long can you fight it? What are you going to do? What happens when the vice president or the president of the United States is openly gay?
Is gay, right? You gonna hide it from your kids?
Yeah. You can't force that out of people. You can't force that out of people. People who think it's like a choice, it's just it probably is a choice for some people. Some people are probably wired in such of a way that their sexuality is a choice for them. Great, good, power to them. But you cannot deny the fact that for a lot of people, it's not a choice; it's their nature. They're gay, and that's their nature, and they're not gonna like you're not gonna like church it out of them. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Or anything else. And I gotta say too, the Christian religion is not even the worst when it comes to that shit. Some other religions, I think like there are some other.
You talking like Islam?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're very intolerant of
right.
Yeah,
And
not all of them, but
right.
Yeah.
But there's some. It's not just Christianity, you know. So, yeah, get on board, Alabama, with gay aardvarks for Christ's sake.
What if we had a gay president? Something I thought I would never see in my lifetime.
A gay president?
Yeah, which we may never see. Who knows? I mean, the odds are.
I think the biggest challenge would be it wouldn't have anything to do with policy or lawmaking or smarts. I honestly think it would be the perception that other leaders around the globe who weren't as like open and advanced as the United States are would have on that person.
Like how would Saudi Arabia deal with it?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know, do they not even deal with him? And you know, that's a challenge I would be happy to go to, you know, if we were the leaders in that, great.
Yeah.
You know, fuck
Agreed.
you, Saudi Arabia or
Agreed.
whatever. But I think that would be the biggest challenge. You know, like how does North Korea deal with that? How does Saudi Arabia, Dubai, and all these other cities and stuff. But yeah, that Buttigieg guy, I don't even know if I'm saying that right. First, he's got to let us know how to say that goddamn name.
It's Boot Edge Edge.
Buttigieg?
Boot Edge Edge.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he did a whole thing about it. He said Boot Edge Edge.
Yeah, he's got to come up with a slick nickname or something.
Booty Judge.
Booty Judge. That works.
Booty Judge. I mean, he's a good speaker though. I was listening to him the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think and like this sounds awful, but like I how do you say this like it matters? He doesn't come off as like gay or not gay. He just comes off as a dude. You know what I mean? And that's probably important for people to see. I think some people feel like, and there are certainly
like he doesn't embody the stereotype or anything like that.
And I think that's like maybe that's a choice, maybe that's not. But I feel like for folks who have an impression of what gay people are, it's nice to see someone just be a person. You know what I mean? Like not everybody is a drag queen and over the top and flamboyant and all these things. So
yeah, of course not.
Of
course not.
That's nice. It'll be nice one day when we don't even talk about that.
Right.
It's like none of your goddamn business.
So you think his lack of flamboyance might help sell him to the mainstream?
Of course.
I'd rather him be flamboyant because it would just be more entertaining.
I'm not saying it's not a choice for me.
I'm kidding.
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
I'm saying that it's more digestible for the average American who we forget. We live in Los Angeles. It's so far left over here. You know, you can get a kale salad at the mall here. You know, like, I know. What? Yeah, anyway. You have something?
Yeah, I was just curious. Do you guys think that we're going to have a gay president before we have a female president? Like a gay man before we would have a woman?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think we'll have a woman first.
We
got too close last time.
I agree, yeah. I think we'll have a female president or vice president.
And just the odds. There are more women than there are gay men. By a lot. By a lot.
Yeah.
So the odds of one getting elected is just higher.
I agree. I also think that, and this might be sad, but there are a lot of closed-minded people out there who would not vote for who would vote for a woman before they would vote for a gay man or woman. What do you think?
I feel like I'm not sure which is stronger, like misogyny or homophobia. I don't know. It's hard to say.
I assume homophobia is stronger because it's easier. It's easier to never have met someone who's openly gay and heard their story and empathize with them.
Yeah.
Impossible to have never met a woman.
Yeah. And there are women who are homophobic. I think there are, like, a woman would be more likely to vote for another woman, but there is a certain section of women who also feel that being gay is wrong. You know what I mean? So that I think cuts into the averages. I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
I could be totally wrong about that, but I think it'd probably be a woman.
I don't know. I mean, I've already lost all hope. I feel like Russia's just going to hack the election.
Right.
Again, you know?
Yeah. Who's more likely to win? I don't know. Who does Russia want to win?
Yeah.
That person.
I'm not even ready for this. I don't know how you're going to beat an incumbent in this 2020 election right now. I don't see it. But
I
I'd
don't
like to
know.
see it. I just don't see it.
I don't know, man. Like that's rough.
Yeah, I don't want to see him shred Joe Biden up. Like, I don't want to see that. Good
Joe
old
Biden's
Joe.
Joe Biden's in the lead right now.
I know, I'm saying, but like,
By a lot.
if he gets the nomination or whatever, then they just go to town on him. The right is just gonna go to town on him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I don't want to see that. I like the guy too much. I don't want to learn all his little dirty secrets. I'm sure the guy's been in politics for like 50 years. There's gonna be some shit that comes up. You know what I mean?
Of course.
He was the vice president, so can't be that much because they probably did that already. But yeah,
he's been vetted.
I'm exhausted.
Yeah, politics is killer. It's like they talk so much trash about each other. By the end, you just hate. It's like YouTube beauty guru drama.
Yeah.
By the end of it, everyone has talked so much trash about everyone else. You just hate all of them.
Just do the boxing match. Just have Joe Biden versus Donald Trump in a boxing match.
Oh, I thought you were
Whoever
talking
wins.
about beauty gurus doing a boxing match.
Oh, that would be fun too. Some sort of weird slap fight.
10 out of 10 would watch. Yeah, if they like bring their brushes in
Yeah.
too,
Full
using them as
send.
weapons.
Full send.
Full send.
I feel like you get one of the guy gurus who's beefing with one of the girls and just make them legitimately box it out, and it just becomes this brutal, like, one-sided beatdown,
Yeah.
and everyone is just horrified, and
Yeah.
people are like, this is why we don't do this.
But they have really good ways to deal with the black and blue marks after the fight.
Oh, that's a good call.
There you go. They
That's
just have
good
a
call.
makeup person in there right next to the cut man. It's like a blush man.
A blush.
Blush him up. He's
Fucking
looking pale.
gurus.
Get it.
I was with my buddy the other day, and he was trying to tell me about the YouTube beauty gurus infighting and stuff. Same thing that you guys were telling me, or that Katie was telling us the other day. And I was just like, what the fuck? Are these people in high school?
Who knows?
And apparently they're not. But that was sort of my take on all of it, is like, why are people wasting their time and energy to make a video to like trash someone else?
Yeah. Unreal. Who knows?
Uh,
It's for ratings.
I get that, but like just the slimy feeling afterwards, I imagine would be, well, maybe they don't feel anything. I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like some people are so caught up in their own ego that it really feels real to them, and they are so blinders on and so self-focused that they don't see it as anything other than like what they must do. Like, oh, this person said this about me. I have to get what? I have
Right.
to get back at them. You're like,
It matters.
yeah.
I remember we did a podcast last year, and we talked about Dr. Phil,
Yeah.
and I was really harsh on Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
And Dr. Phil, I will never meet Dr. Phil. Like, that will never cross paths. It's not likely to happen. And I like felt bad afterwards,
That you were
even
talking
though
shit.
it was legitimate criticism of what he was doing on his show with Shelley Duvall. I legitimately felt like, man, I was probably too harsh. Like, that's a human being. Because that's the way you're supposed to feel.
Yeah.
It's like I had PTSD
Yeah.
after that.
The only way I can see it happening is if they both behind the scenes just go call each other up and be like, "Hey, man, this is all. Let's fuel these flames here for the show, almost like a wrestling match. Let's fuel the
Right.
flames here, but like, we cool, right? Yeah, we cool, and then go. That's what I would do.
That'd
If
be
you
fun.
if you and I got into a fake feud,
Oh,
we would
sweet.
like just start it here and then just start trashing each other on the internet. But the whole time we would both be just like laughing all the way to the bank.
We come to the podcast and fight.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Oh, yeah. And then, but then after it's all over, do we admit that it was fake, or do we just go, oh,
Never.
no?
I'll go to the grave.
Go to the grave?
Go to the grave with that secret.
Wow.
I think that's the secret, guys. We
Yeah.
got to start some podcast drama.
Yeah, we'll start a love triangle between the three of us, and then it'll just. Bounce
But like, don't
back
worry,
and
it'll
forth
be
forever.
fake.
It'll be a
Oh,
fake
fake,
love
fake.
triangle.
Well, that's what I was telling. That's what I was telling Kelly the other day about the podcast. Because I was like, yeah, we get some people watching and everything. Not nearly as many people as watch Epic Rap Battle or watch my sketches. Like, not even close. But it's a podcast, different format, and we're sort of new at it. And I was like, also, we're not assholes, and we're not extreme. And I see, like, I catch wind of like a few minutes of other podcasts, and they're the ones that aren't like educational. They're just dicks.
Or celebrity guests.
Or celebrity guests, right? And so I was like, when we give our opinion on things, we're just not
Yeah, you're just hearing two rational people talk.
Exactly. Which I guess just isn't the train wreck that some people want.
Maybe we should just
whatever.
play characters that are super, that are awful. I don't know. I don't have it in me. I can only go about 10 minutes before I start to cringe at my own self.
Well, then people take that clip out of context.
Yeah.
In 10 years, and they're like, look, here's Lloyd.
Here's Lloyd. When
Being
Lloyd
a
runs
scumbag.
for president. Lloyd for president.
Wow.
What would your platform be if you ran for president?
Free stuff.
Free stuff.
Free stuff.
Everybody gets a coupon
Right.
for Whole Foods.
What's it? Free stuff. Yo, you got to vote for Ray. We're going to get some free stuff. Free stuff. Man, I like free stuff.
He's got my vote. Before Ray, I had no stuff. And then his came on, and I got some stuff, and it was for free.
Well, before President Johnson came along, it was like there was stuff, but I had to pay for it.
Right.
Now I got stuff, and it was free.
Unreal. 2020.
That's it. What about yours?
What would my policy be? My policy would be flat tax.
Oh, wow, you're getting real.
Flat tax, dog. Flat tax. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to pull it off.
You don't even know what it is? It just
don't
sounds
even know.
good because it's got the long A
I'm
in
sure
both
there's a
words.
ton of data behind it that says it's awful.
Yeah.
But it always seemed right to me. You
Yeah.
make 20 grand a year, you should get the same tax. Like, I don't understand why rich people, they work their balls off. I don't know anybody who's super rich who's lazy. I think that is just a myth. Like a couple, maybe, and I don't hang around in Beverly Hills too much, but I don't know any super rich people that don't completely deserve to be as rich as they are.
What you talking about? Rich people have kids all the time, and those kids are terrible.
No. Everybody that I know that's rich, they have the best kids. They have great kids.
I'm sorry. Who are these people? Because
Yeah.
trust fund babies are the worst.
Yeah, they really are.
I guess I don't know any of these people. I don't know trust fund babies. I just know hard-working people babies.
You think all of Trump's kids work their ass off?
No, not him. Not him.
Maybe they do. I don't know.
Not him. But like Warren Buffett, he didn't give any money to his kids at all.
Good for him.
Like
I work for this money.
You guys work.
You ain't getting nothing.
I don't know. I just
That's
think
funny because he gives it all to charity.
Yeah.
So-
I think people like you're incentivized not to work hard. That doesn't make any sense. You're because the harder you work, the more they take from you.
Yeah.
So I'm incentivized to do less and then ask for more.
Yeah, but
What the hell?
it could be incremental percentages. It could be like, all right, we get taxed at 10%, and anyone with over $50 million gets taxed 20%. Like, that's fine.
Yeah, but like sometimes it's like 60% at some levels. You're like 60% is like, no, that's not fair.
Then when they're that rich, they put all their money, they like hide it somewhere so they don't end up paying.
But if you didn't try to tax them that way, then they wouldn't do that. You know what I mean?
Would.
I don't know.
They would.
No, rich people are bad, man. You should meet some rich people.
I'm not saying
sometime.
all rich. I'm not saying all rich people are bad. I'm saying like I agree that they should get taxed more. I mean,
a little bit more.
Elizabeth Warren, like she introduced that plan, and now I'm gonna totally butcher it, but like anyone, it was Warren and AOC had a similar plan. It was anyone who makes over $10 million in a year, on that 10 millionth and first dollar, they get taxed a shitload.
Right? Why? Like that doesn't make any
Because you don't
sense.
need more than $10 million a year.
But you're gonna.
What are you gonna do with that money? Swim in it like Scrooge
It's
McDuck?
none of your damn business what I'm gonna do with that money. I just made this.
Yeah,
money.
it is.
I just made this money, and I'm gonna do what I want with it. Like just because I'm making this money, and you're not, doesn't mean all of a sudden you get to grab a piece of it just because you didn't do it right.
You can do whatever you want with that money right after you pay the tax man.
Yeah, that's fine. Don't tax me 65%, and then don't tax me after I die and try to give this shit to my kids. You already taxed me once on this shit.
I don't care what you do after I'm dead. I'll be dead.
Right. There's like a death tax. That shit is crazy, man. Like you pay your taxes on your money your whole life, right? And then you save some and whatever. And then you die, and then they're gonna give it to me because I'm your next of kin, right? And then they tax you again.
So?
That's bullshit. You already paid the taxes on that money.
Yeah, but talk about people who didn't work for the money. You're giving it to someone who didn't work. It's a gift. You're giving it to someone who didn't work for it.
But you already paid the taxes on that money.
So? You dead.
So you don't get my money again. No. You're not. Now I'm gonna hide it.
I'll
That
tax
would
you-
make me hide it.
I'll tax you twice because you're dead.
I'm just saying, if you don't want people to hide shit, stop taking stop like taking the money from them without like any reason. It doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to me. Same with like, and it's not because everybody that I know that has no money is awful with money, and that's why they don't have any money. They're like people in my family, awful with money. You can watch them you can just watch them be bad with it and then bitch about how they're broke all the time. You're like, you're terrible with money, man. It's nobody else's fault but yours. I give you that there are people in bad situations out there. 100%. There is that element out there. But a lot of people who have debt and are shitty with money are just dumb dicks who don't do it right. And it sucks that everybody else has to like support that all the time. There, that's what I said. White man opinion right here. How about that?
Those poor old white billionaires.
No, I'm not saying whatever.
Those poor guys.
Talk about taking shit out of context. I just don't think that you should be. I just don't think that that you should be de-incentivized to work hard and make a lot of money by having more money taken from you when you do that. That doesn't make any sense.
That's one of your more far right opinions.
I always told you, man. I'm not like when it comes to moral issues, I am like open-minded, liberal, and all that shit. But when it comes to actual money and like economics and business and stuff, I can go either way on shit. You know what I mean? Especially that tax stuff, because like as a person who employs a lot of people, I like it's harder to do that when that's being taken from you a lot of times.
Yes,
especially
that's
in
true.
California. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So anyway,
I will say the chat is not with you, Lloyd.
great.
Whoa.
Good.
Whoa.
Makes for an active chat.
It's okay. I mean, I think this is good. We got a little controversy.
Good.
Yeah, okay.
Bring it, chat.
Well, let's talk about Whitney Houston.
All right, that's a good segue.
Yeah. Right.
Talk about being dead.
Speaking of taking things that don't belong to you after you're dead. So, the Whitney Houston estate, which is run by her sister-in-law and some other company, also, it's a record label or something, gets like half of her estate or something like that.
Right.
They're sending Whitney Houston on tour as a hologram. She's doing a hologram tour.
Oof.
A lot of people aren't really into it.
Yeah, that's.
They're putting out a new album too.
What?
Yeah, I guess maybe unreleased stuff.
Well, that's okay.
I mean, they've been doing that with dead people for a while.
Yeah, but a hologram tour, like the Tupac hologram thing.
Yeah, but like a tour. Like it's gonna tour around.
Ugh.
I probably won't do too many meet and greets. I don't know.
Oh no! What does the photo look like?
I don't know.
How does she sign things? Oh gosh, like I that to me just says that that estate is like hurting for cash, maybe. Or is Bobby Brown behind this?
I don't know. I was kind of hoping that was kind of one of my jokes. Was like, I hope Bobby Brown comes out on stage
Ugh.
as a hologram because they don't want the real guy there.
Oh my god!
Comes out on stage and like threatens her to work harder, and
oh no!
And then she gives a better
Gives
performance.
her crack for the first time.
Oh god! Why you got to take it there, Lloyd?
I mean, like, where does this gonna play? Is this like a Vegas thing? What are they gonna play?
No, I think they're
going
gonna tour it around state fairs. I don't know. They could probably do arenas and stuff with Whitney Houston, man.
I know. Like, I mean, everybody wants to hear those songs. They're amazing. Those songs are fantastic. But like, I guess they'll just be live recordings.
Yeah, of course.
Like, they'll just put it on the DVD player and like press
Yeah,
play.
I just put on the album. I guess so.
That's kind of morbid. That's almost like when
She'd probably have backup dancers and stuff. It'd probably be really cool. I mean, sure, there'd be money put into it.
right.
That's an investment.
Backup dancers with the hologram of Whitney Houston.
Maybe some special guests and
I
that
don't-
kind of stuff.
I don't know. That feels a little. I feel like people that go to see that are just going to there for the novelty to be like, oh, I just saw this hologram show. It's crazy. Like, it doesn't seem like you would actually have a great time.
I don't know. I'm not a concert going kind of guy. But if I were, like, I would see a Beatles hologram show. That'd be sick.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess because her death, it's just a little bit more morbid for me. Like, her death was so tragic and early.
It was only 7 years ago.
She only died 7 years
7
ago?
years ago.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what I read.
It feels like way longer than that.
Yeah. No, I was living in LA. It's been 7 years. And so I guess they interviewed her sister-in-law, or the one running the estate, and she said, yeah, like, it's for money, but also, and she made a solid argument here. She said she wants to rework Whitney's image because when Whitney died, it was all about, the story became, well, she was, drug use and all these other things, and became less about the music.
Yeah.
And so she's trying to sort of, retell that story and make it more about
That's nice.
the music, and also, get paid.
That's nice.
What else are you gonna do?
I feel like that show would go well in like a theme park. you're on like the Small World, and all of a sudden there's like Whitney Houston there, and I am still alive. Anyway, but as a show to go buy a ticket to, maybe Vegas.
Well,
But I don't know. I'm not gonna go see that at like the Illinois State, like a concert arena. Who opens?
it's like an actual human opens.
Yeah, is it like?
Man, my career sucks. I'm opening for a fucking hologram.
The surviving members of ABBA with holograms of like the dead
God.
or something.
It's funny that you brought up Vegas because they are also planning a Vegas show and a Broadway musical and a new album of unreleased material from her.
That's where we're going, man. They're going to be just Broadway plays of holograms. They save a lot on the cast, probably. Shit.
I think we should embrace it. I think that's where I do think that's where it's going. I think every band, like every group, I think at some point in our lifetime there are going to be living artists who are like, yeah, we'll just send out a hologram.
Yeah, like Rage Against the Machine. They're like, we don't have the energy for that anymore. Send in our young guys. Send in the young holograms.
Yeah.
For us.
And they come in and like give a better show.
And they thrash.
Yeah.
But there's no room for improvising. There's no room to be with the audience. It's going to be the show that it is. Unless they can program it to like think. And then we're all... Imagine if AI gets tipped over from this shit. Like this is what leads to the end. Hologram music shows. And then all of a sudden one of them just becomes cognizant in the middle of a show.
Like hologram Tupac and just starts freestyling and he's better than actual Tupac?
Yeah. Has access to every word that's ever been written down and just all of a sudden becomes a living entity.
Wow. Like Ultron or something. but he still embodies Tupac, so he's got to go. He's all about that life. He's going to grab a gun from security
but he can't hold it.
He's
a hologram.
Yeah, but he's going to have followers, so.
Right. He could program that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, this is it.
Right.
This is the end.
It's the end of the world.
This is the end
Whitney
of it.
Houston's.
Oh my gosh.
That's amazing. All right.
Oh. Make it or break it.
Yeah. Well, I figured we would play Sex is Like this week instead of Stoner Thoughts.
All right, great.
I don't know. What do you think?
I like Sex is Like. I always like Sex is Like.
All right. You want to play? You want to play with us, Katie?
I am always down.
All right.
Always.
1, 2, 3. Sex is Like Alabama.
Oh, God. Sex is like Alabama. It's always on the bottom.
Ooh.
Sex is like Alabama. Men think they can be in charge of my body, but they can't.
Whoa. That was nice. Sex is Like Alabama. Generally pretty slow and uneducated. I don't know.
Sex is Like Alabama. Overall, really nice people.
Sex is like Alabama. Apparently, it's okay to be gay.
Hey. Sex is Like Alabama. Backwards.
I feel like all the people from Alabama are gonna
I know, they're like pissed. Damn it, it's not funny.
I'm from there. I know a lot of people from Alabama. They're really nice. Montgomery seems to be a really nice city.
Okay. Sex is like the final season of Game of Thrones.
Sex is like the final season of Game of Thrones.
Disappointing.
Yeah, disappointing. The good episodes are 90 minutes.
Okay, wait. Sorry, I had one in my head. Sex is like the final episode of Game of Thrones. Hey, at least nobody died. Oh, wait.
Sex is like the final season of Game of Thrones. It turns a really pretty girl into a bitch.
Nice. Sex is like the final season of Game of Thrones. For me, there's always a 45-minute fight in the middle. Fight scene.
Sex is like the final season of Game of Thrones. It never lives up to your expectations, and there's a lot of blood.
Oh.
Katie takes it there.
Wow.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's all right.
Sex is like the final season of Game of Thrones. Most of us are just glad it's over.
Yeah. Sex is like the final season of Game of Thrones. I'm just not going to do it with my aunt.
Wow. Sex is like the final season of Game of Thrones. For me, it's always scripted.
Oh boy.
All right, you guys take one.
We need to get another one. Go ahead.
Yeah, we got one from the chat from Sherika.
Sherika.
Yeah. Sex is like a cell phone.
Sex is like a cell phone. Always on vibrate.
Hey, sex is like a cell phone. It's the first and last thing I look at before I go to bed.
Hey. Sex is like a cell phone. Always involves my hands.
Sex is like a cell phone. You can do a 3-way call, but it's usually pretty spotty.
Oh God.
Sex is like a cell phone. My inbox is always stuffed.
Sex is like a cell phone. I'm glad I even have 2 options. It's a carrier joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sex is like a cell phone because I'm a Mac.
Ooh.
Hey. What?
Nice.
Yeah.
Sex is like a cell phone. I look at it all day, but I don't really.
Sex is like cell phone. You shouldn't use it on the toilet.
Oh.
There's words for that. I don't want to think about that.
Oh God. Oh God. We got one from the chat.
Sex is like
last one.
Sex is like politics.
Oh.
Sex is like
So
politics.
Or do you want something different? I can give you
No,
another option.
no, it's a
Okay,
challenge.
that
It's
one's
a
from
challenge.
Michael Archilla.
All right. Sex is like politics.
Sex is like politics. A bunch of people shooting their mouths off.
Ooh. Sex is like politics. It always starts with a lie.
Pretty good. Sex is like politics. Most of my ideas get outvoted.
Oof. That's great.
Sex is like politics.
So broad.
I'm not looking forward to 2020.
Oh God. Sex is like politics, man. There's always the wrong dude in the position.
Yeah. Sex is like politics. Very different state to state.
Ah. That's nice.
Uh,
Sex is like politics. Harder for women and gay men.
Yeah.
Sex is like politics. Too much talking and it just really ruins everything.
Ah.
True. Very true. Sex is like politics. We all love come from behind victories. Too much. Yeah.
No. All right, we'll end there.
Hey.
We'll end there.
You can play at home, folks. We'll be selling the board game in another 6 months. The Sex is like board game. I'd play that game.
Yeah, that's a $1 million idea.
You roll the dice, and then you do a Sex is like, and then almost like apples to apples. If you've ever played that game, and then the group votes on which one's the best, and you move on.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, you guys could release your own Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah, there you go. The Sex is like game board. Kings Against Humanity.
Love it. Love it. So let's hear from Jose, who's 16, had a little quick call for us.
Hey guys, this is Jose. I'm 16 and I just got a audition for a part in something, I don't know. It's an audition and my mom got it for me and I'm really nervous because it's my first audition ever. And I'm really interested in playing, but I get nervous a lot of times. If you guys can help me, it will be great and love your cast. Bye.
So he's got audition anxiety. He's 16. I guess his mom got him an audition.
What's he auditioning for?
I don't know. I mean, you heard the call.
Yeah, I couldn't hear what he said.
Oh, okay.
He didn't say what the part was.
Yeah.
He just said that his mom got him the audition.
Oh,
Yeah, it's probably like a local commercial or something.
okay.
I imagine. I don't think he's for the lead in Cats.
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, audition advice is don't.
Don't be nervous.
Yeah. The hard truth is, honestly, auditioning is if you're gonna do it for a job, if you're gonna be an actor, you're gonna have thousands of these. And if this is your first one, I wouldn't put too much weight in it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't be expected to maybe you book it great, but I would try go in there, have a good time, try and you're not only auditioning for the role, you're auditioning for those casting directors, so that when you go in there and you do the audition, say you're right for it, say you're not. But if they see that you're not a crazy person, they see that you know your lines, you're on time, you're professional, your headshot looks good, your resume looks good, then they go, okay, we'll bring him in for the next thing maybe. And that's just as much of a part of your first audition as the actual thing that you're doing. So know what you're doing, know your lines, know what you need to say, and have your shit together.
Yeah. Also, everyone has audition anxiety. Like it's so normal. What you're experiencing, everyone has experienced. And it's funny because I'm giving this advice and I'm going, yeah, but I get nervous before an audition too. Yeah. Even if I know I'm going to do well, it's still like there's just something about having to perform for a bunch of other assholes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, maybe this could be completely different, dude. This could be like an audition for a play, or this. I don't really know what it's an audition for, but it's
same advice.
Yeah, it is same advice, but he might have like I remember auditioning for plays and stuff in high school, and I got to do a whole monologue. You know what I mean? I got to practice a monologue and then perform my monologue for the play, which is a very different experience than like a commercial where you go in and you read like 2 lines and they just look at you and then you leave. So, I mean, if it's more of like if you got more content, if you get to rehearse something, if you get to prepare something, like prepare the shit out of it, run it a bunch of times, do it in front of different people. If you can get in front of an open mic and do the content and work it so that the first time you're doing it isn't in the room or on the stage at the audition, that's great. You know, that's why all the people from Groundlings always got cast on SNL, is because these sketches and these characters that they're doing at the SNL audition, they've been doing them for 3 years in front of audiences, and they've worked every little nook and cranny of the character out, and they know how to do it. So if it's something like that, you know, practice as much as you can in front of different people so that you're really comfortable when you get into the room.
Good call.
Yeah. And next time you ask for advice, tell us what kind of audition it is.
Do you have any advice?
They're all very different.
Really?
They're all really different. But I think also just like have fun with it too. Like after you've done all the prep, let yourself kind of just say fuck it and let it go and let them see you have a good time. Yeah. You don't want to let them see you sweat or see you do too much work up there.
Be nervous. Yeah. That's so easy. So much easier to say than to do.
Totally. I'm saying it because I'm not always good at it. I'm working on it.
I'm awful at audition. I don't think I really don't book things. That's why I did this shit on my own, because I was so tired of waiting for somebody to give me approval. You know, like I don't know what it is.
Worst feeling ever.
Yeah.
Oh, am I good enough? Am I good? Like I don't need these people to tell me I'm good enough.
Yeah. And it's like auditioning is a completely different skill than the actual work.
Right.
You know, it's not unrelated, but it's so much. It's such a microcosm of what you'll be doing for the role. You know, that there are people who just get great at it. The most I ever learned about auditioning was when I was on the other side of it, and I was casting for a role, and I got to see people audition. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm awful at this.
Huh.
These people are great. They come in. You know what I mean? You just learn so much from watching. So, yeah.
All right, let's hear from Chad, 21.
Hey guys, my name is Chad and I'm 21 years old. So my dream job is to become a registered nurse at a hospital, but my dilemma is that I have a 1-year-old son and just recently bought a house, so I am on the fence on whether I should pursue college to become a nurse, which would take me to at least 4 years to get my bachelor's degree, and in the end I would have a great job and make plenty of money to support my family. Or I was also considering getting an apprenticeship in a trade such as HVAC or plumbing, which I could get into much quicker and get to a very good wage in much less time with no student debt to worry about. I am not opposed to doing these kind of jobs. However, I'm afraid that if I pursue that career path, I will always wonder and long about what it would have been like if I would have pursued my dream job of being a nurse. The reason why I have a hard time deciding is that I don't want to deal with thousands of dollars of student loan debt, and also it's going to be difficult to work full-time at the steel forge that I work at, go to school, and take care of my son all at the same time, as opposed to going into trades. I wouldn't spend any kind of time doing schooling, and I would be able to make this good money much quicker. So I just wanted to hear you guys' input on which path I should take and why. So,
all right. Wow. That was a well-crafted question.
Yeah.
Specific. That's a tough one.
All right. So Chad, he's got a 1-year-old son. He just bought a house. He's thinking about going to nursing school. That's been his dream. Although that'll put him in debt. His alternative is to go to trade school, maybe do plumbing or something like that, and get through faster and be in less debt. But it's not his dream.
Yeah.
I mean, I always push to chase dreams, but I don't have a 1-year-old son.
Right. Yeah, I think I'm with you on that. Especially when the dream is like you're not, your dream's not to become like a puppeteer. Like
Right.
there's a very clear financial road there. I mean, and a registered nurse is a great job, like one of the best paying jobs, and also one of the most like like traveling. Like you can get jobs as a nurse anywhere.
Yeah.
Um, and so there's like a clear road to making that money back. It's one of those jobs where you're like, yeah, this is worth the college debt because you're gonna be able to get a job after there.
Yeah, if it works out.
I mean, I think this is the time when you take on debt. You do have a 1-year-old son, but this is it's not going to get any cheaper to have that kid.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like the older a kid gets, the more expensive they get, I think. I don't know. But
well, and healthcare is not going to go away.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like by the time he gets out, that field is going to continue to expand as the population gets older and as the population expands.
Yeah, and plus, if your kid gets sick, you know what to do.
Well, there's also that.
HVAC is not going to help with your kid's sinus infection.
Also, I mean, did he bring up if he has a partner that he's raising this kid with?
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
He didn't bring it up. So.
Yeah. Because if the partner has some sort of income, maybe they could help to support, or maybe family or something.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, we just assume that that's not an issue. Let's assume that that's not an option.
Yeah.
Because he didn't say.
Yeah. I imagine if.
I feel like if that was an option, he'd be like, yeah, I'll just have my parents pay for it.
Yeah, or his wife, or his mom, or
yeah.
I don't know, husband, whatever. Yeah, I would. I think you should, go for it, man. Like, as long as you can do it in a responsible way, you sound like a responsible person. I feel like there's been generations and generations of people who have kids and they figure it out. And I think you just gotta like jump first and then find the net. And if that's what you're chasing, then there's nothing gonna be as motivating as providing for your family, and that's gonna make you do good in school. And I think that's gonna make you have a good job. And hell, who knows? Maybe you can even do the HVAC shit on the side. I mean, maybe. I mean, you're gonna need a job as you're going through school.
Oh, he said he has a job.
Oh, he does.
Yeah. I forget what it was, but he said he works.
I also think there are places you can go. There's money you can find to help you get through college. It can be a community college. It can be different programs. Some people just sign the check and go to, a major school or whatever, and they don't really ever investigate the options that are out there for financial aid and those things. And I think you could probably apply for a lot of those things and get some money.
You mean non-student loan stuff?
Yeah. Student loans or grants.
Yeah.
A lot of states have grant programs or local scholarships. There are websites out there that are just lists all the local scholarships that you can apply for. It takes a little work. You got to write probably an essay or something. That was my least. Writing those essays.
I think the good thing that you got going for you, Chad, is that the roadmap is sort of there for you. There have been hundreds of thousands of nurses who have traveled that path before you, and so you can sort of look at what they've done and then do it. It's like you go to school, you take your classes, you do this and you do that, and then you graduate, and then you take your test, and then you're a nurse.
Yeah.
And then you pay off your loans, and it's all there. Like you don't have to navigate much of that. You just have to make a few difficult decisions.
Yeah.
Of which path in the fork in the road that you take.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to pioneer anything.
Yeah.
And that's good.
Good luck, buddy. Do your thing.
All right, yeah. Good luck, Chad. Let us know. Call us back and let us know what you do in a few months.
Yeah, if anybody else out there wants to hear some advice, we have a phone number you can call. We take calls and do two dude advice.
Two dude and Katy.
Two dude and Katy.
Two dudes and Katy.
So what's that number?
321-222-3179. Call us. Leave your first name, your age, and a little short message asking for advice, and maybe you'll get on the show.
Yeah.
But I think that's it. That's all the calls I got.
That's the calls we have for today. Boom.
Boom. Tight hour.
That's a tight hour, y'all.
Tight hour.
We did good.
Tightest hour.
I always like it. There. We just put the phone number in the comments there. You can write it down or copy and paste. Well, that was a fun episode. I enjoyed that. It's always nice. We'll be back next week on Wednesday at noon every week.
That's right. All right, guys. Stick around for the chat. We love you.